Before I became seriously passionate about catching grass carp, I used to think of it as just a big herbivorous fish. But for my very first trips, I realized that it is a whole world with its own rules, and the more I learned about it, the deeper it pulled me in. The fact that impressed me the most was that an adult grass carp can eat up to its own body weight in aquatic plants in a single day. In some states, these fish are used to save lakes and ponds from being completely overgrown. In essence, this fish works as a biological oczysztować, a living water cleaner. Water. Another crazy fact is that a grass carp can live for more than 20 years. That means the fish I catch today may have been stocked back in the early 2000s. Realizing this changes the way you feel about every single bite. The first time I saw a massive carp leap about 5 feet out of the water, I almost dropped my rod. It looked like a silver dolphin bursting out of the lake. At that moment, I understood that this fish is capable of destroying any stereotype. Grass carp originate from Asia, from the Amur River Basin, and Chinese river systems. They were introduced to the United States in the 1960s, not for sport fishing, but to fight excessive aquatic vegetation. At first, they were used only in ponds and closed waters. Over time, however, some of the fish escaped into open river systems. That is how grass carp began their great American journey. They belong to the carp family, but they behave very differently. While common carp feed on the bottom, grass carp wander through vegetation for hours. They literally graze like cows in a meadow. Scientifically, there is only one species, Atenopharyngodon idella. But American anglers talk about several types of this fish, and these differences are crucial for understanding its behavior. The first type is wild grass carp, which can reproduce naturally. To do that, it needs long rivers with strong current. That is why it is found in the Mississippi River Basin. The second type is triploid or sterile grass carp. They are special bred in hatcheries. They cannot reproduce, and they are the type most often allowed to be stocked in ponds. The third type is hybrids. They are created by crossbreeding to increase hardiness. Such fish can be true survival machines. I have caught grass carp in Florida where the water stays warm almost all year. There they grow very fast and become incredibly powerful. Sometimes it feels like those canals belong to them. In Texas, grass carp live in huge reservoirs where they have to endure sharp temperature changes, yet they adapt and keep growing. In the Midwest, grass carp inhabit large rivers. That is where I caught my biggest specimen. The fight lasted almost 40 minutes. In spring, this fish wakes up from its winter lethargy. It moves into shallow water and starts feeding actively. This is one of the best times for fishing. In summer, grass carp become more cautious and hide deep in the vegetation. Here you need maximum patience. In autumn, they prepare for winter and their appetite increases dramatically. Most of my trophies come in the fall. I use plant-based baits. Corn, lettuce, alfalfa, and even watermelon work best. Sometimes I also experiment with boilies. The tackle has to be extremely strong. The rod must have a big power reserve, otherwise the carp will simply break it. When it bites, it looks like the rig slowly starts moving away, and then comes a sudden violent run. At that moment, your heart stops. Sometimes it feels like you are fighting not a fish, but an underwater tractor. It pulls into the weeds and never gives up. It is a true test of character. I always use a landing net. Without it, landing a grass carp is almost impossible. Its body is slippery and incredibly strong. After a photo, I always release the fish. These giants deserve to live, and every such moment is filled with respect. Grass carp are more than fishing. They are a school of patience. They are a test of endurance. Every trip after grass carp is a small adventure, and each time I come back with new emotions. That is why I keep doing it. This fish taught me not to rush. It made me listen to the water, and it changed my understanding of fishing. When I sit on the bank and look at the mirror-like surface of the lake, I know that somewhere out there swims my next trophy. And that thought never lets me rest. That is the magic of grass carp.